Hi, my name is Mandolin Royal, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about hatching egg selection. I'm in my hatch room currently. It's raining and gross outside, a little bit chilly. So I'd much rather be with these guys where it's warm, going through these eggs. So when it comes to hatching, you want the eggs to be fresh. So these are all from the past 7 days. And it's the last eggs I'm looking at for the season. There's going to be a variety of shapes, sizes, and color. And all of that needs to be taken into consideration. So first I want to show you these little babies. These guys just hatched 3 days ago. I'll have to open the door. But look at their shape. They're very round little nuggets. And so the shape of the egg and the size of the egg matters a lot in the type of chick you're going to get. So this first row here came from pullets who are not yet a year old. They're more like 8 to 9 months old. This one has a very nice shape. It has the width up here. It has width down here. There's plenty of room in this egg for the chick to move around for hatching. Color-wise, it's good. That's a good one. This one's a little dark and a little bit small. Now this tray is for large size eggs, and this tray is for medium to large. And you can tell when an egg is too small if it wobbles in the appropriate sized tray. I don't want to get distracted, so we'll get there. This one feels a little small. This one has blood on it, and it's a little pointy in the bottom. There's an old wives' tale that this pointy bottom type egg would hatch a male chicken. There's not much validity to that. This one's a little more colored, but not bad. I know some of you might consider these eggs to be gold right now, but don't give in to temptation. That one's too small, too short, and too round, and a little more tinted. Way too little. This is from a different pen of young birds. This one's really little. When I take it over here, it wiggles around way too much. Too little, too little, too little. I'm going to weigh a couple of these. I don't have a scale that does grams. We'll see what this one says about eggs. I've been doing this for so long that I can tell by feel. Take this nice fat round one. See what it says. 2 1/4 ounce. Take this little guy. 1 1/2 ounces. Big size difference. So in looking at this other tray here, this back row, this is from my old lady pen. There's not too many of them in active lay. This is a long egg. That whole back row is shaped like that. I would use this one. It may or may not be a double yolk. I don't think it is. But you can kind of see some discoloration here, and that implies that there's an issue with shell integrity. And those girls are finishing up molt. So if they still are laying, 2 ounces and 3/8. Oops, almost dropped it. If they are still laying, they're going to be petering out for winter just because of their age. And the eggs will get funky when they enter and when they exit laying. Too pointy. Way too narrow. There's just not enough room for the chick to do what it needs to do to get out of there. And think of the whites inside, the yellow yolk, and the chick. Lengthwise, this egg, it's going to develop, it's going to grow a chick, but that chick's probably going to have a difficult time getting out of there. And if you like to have a smooth and successful hatch, you don't want to put inferior eggs in. This is a nice egg. Two and 1/8 ounce. I'm gonna have to break down and get a gram scale. That's a good egg though. You want your hatching eggs to be unwashed and yet as clean as possible. That's a nice egg. Between size, color, shape, this one's gold. The shell is perfect. Just so you guys know, I have absolutely no intention of putting these in the incubator, but I collected them so we could do this video. I need to put some eggs in storage so that we have eggs over winter. First and foremost, our flock is for function and for eating. This one's too short. It's got a good shape. This one has yolk on it, so somebody probably laid a softer egg and they probably ate it. But I don't use eggs that have yolk on them. It almost acts like glue. You know, I'm not going to wash it off because then I can introduce bacteria that way, and I don't want that to happen. This one's very round and short, so it's going to compress the chick a little bit because your air sac's going to come down about there towards the end, and that's not a whole lot of room left. There's enough room in there for the chick to probably hatch okay. That one's very round and squat. Now if you go through your eggs and you mark them and then put them in the incubator so that you can see which eggs hatch the best, you can conduct your own experiment. This one's a little small, but not bad shape-wise. Typically, the chick's only going to grow as big as what the egg allows. And I'm wondering what that means if you've got this super narrow kind of egg like that. How much leftover white would still be in that egg? Because that excess moisture can be a problem during hatching, depending on your humidity settings in the incubator. This one has a weird shell. If you're feeling brave, you can do a squeeze test. That passed the squeeze test. But there's something goofy with the top of that egg. That passed the squeeze test. I prefer to use the lighter colors. This is a passable color though. It counts. If you track your hatching and separate based off of egg color, you can certainly grow table birds from the eggs that don't necessarily warrant true purebred breeding. There's all kinds of options and variables. So like this darker one, this one, and these three, I would want to identify them as either general laying stock or table birds. Technically, the breed's supposed to lay a white egg like that. But what we have in the United States doesn't actually do that color all that often. And I'm not going to sabotage my entire flock effort by chasing a very singular egg color. I'm just going to keep an eye on it and work it towards where it needs to be. So these white ones I would set aside and mark those chicks so I knew who came from those eggs. Because if I got a boy to cover a pen that came from the white egg color, I could totally change the dynamics within that pen just based off of him, depending on how he turned out otherwise. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of variables. I hope that sheds some light on what we're looking for in hatching eggs. That's a good shape. Plenty of room. This one would hatch a smaller sized chick, but it might catch up in the first 4 weeks. Once they're out of here, they're free to grow as they like. But I'm going to keep trying to do more detailed videos and to really get into what's in my mind as I go through this process. And I was thinking, since this is my last batch of chicks, I would treat them as if I don't know them. And we'll watch the whole group grow. We'll sort through them as we need to sort. They have the same dad and up to 6 different mothers. That might be fun. I've got some housing stuff to figure out on how I'm going to stay organized. That's just an idea I had. So I'm going to go ahead and get these eggs back to the house. I'm going to try real hard not to feel bad about eating them. See you next time.